So if you are a small farmer or a homesteader looking to increase the productivity of your layer hens and optimize your operations, then Flock Metrics is for you. This is basically a tool that runs off of Google Sheets, and it's designed to help small farmers and homesteaders alike track expenses, cost per dozen of eggs, and the productivity of their hens based on weather, the pasture they choose, feed choices, and much, much more. By using Flock Metrics, you can compare different management practices and find the best way to optimize your flock's performance. With the power of the data at your fingertips, you can increase the profits and make your layer hen operation more efficient than ever before. So whether you're a small farmer or a homesteader, Flock Metrics is a perfect tool to help you make informed decisions about your flock. So this is the first video in a video series that's going to give you a quick overview of how it works. We will go into more details later in this video series. But for now, let's get a quick overview of how this works and how it can help you. So this tool gives you multiple ways to view your data. We have a few different dashboards. We have our main dashboard here. So on this dashboard here, you can see a monthly breakdown of everything. Along the top, you can have customized metrics. So whatever you want to choose here, like average feed cost per dozen or whatever. And whatever you choose up here, we'll build a graph for you down here. In that graph, you can actually see your average feed per dozen, whatever you chose up here, feed cost per dozen, your total rainfall, and profit per dozen. So we can actually see a month-by-month graph on where we are. Down below that, we can see cost breakdowns. This also tracks weather, such as average high temperatures, low temperatures, any snowfall or rain, and how it may affect your layer hens. This is tracking the age of your hens. This can do mixed flocks as well. So if you have different hens at different ages, that's not a problem. This will take the average age of them all and show you the productivity based on their age. This is basically another version of that. However, this one's going to show you average feed per dozen. On this one, the feed target effects on cost per dozen is essentially how close you are to your recommended feeding amount, if you go a little above or below that, and where is that sweet spot to get the most profitability and make your feed cost per dozen of eggs be as low as possible, but still be productive and giving your hens what they need. So also, if you give your chickens access to compost or feed them food scraps, we can log that information in here and actually see how that may affect the laying abilities of your hens. We can also track losses in here as well. So if you are losing chickens to a particular cause, then we can maybe pinpoint that reason, and we can find a better management technique to deal with that a little bit better. Your other dashboards will be these yearly ones. So as I explained, this one is broken down on a monthly basis. Whenever you go to these daily analytics, so this shows you the entire year, but shows you the information on a daily basis throughout the entire graph. So you will see daily changes on these graphs over a year's time. And you can see a lot of the same information as feed and productivity, your profit per dozen, how the weather affects your laying hens, the productivity based on the location of where your hens are, your feed targets, again, your feed target effects based on the cost per dozen. And we can also see feed comparisons. So if you are using different feeds, how is it affecting your layer hens' productivity and the cost effectiveness of that feed? We can also see aggregated data here. This basically breaks everything down on a month-by-month basis and has a bunch of different metrics that we can look at and compare across the way. So these are your log sheets here. This is where you'll be able to log information. Anything with a green header is something you can edit. If it does not have a green header, you don't edit it. So every day you would come in and put how much feed you gave them, what kind of feed you used, and this is all customizable. You can make your own list here of whatever feeds you want. We would then log the number of eggs collected, and if there's any cracked eggs, we would log that as well. If any of your hens die, we have a whole category for keeping track of losses. Your expense items, you can make a custom expense list and add in those categories here, and then anytime you have a cost that goes into one of those categories, you would choose that category and say how much cost went towards that. If your egg cartons change in price, or you change a supplier or whatever, you can have different egg cartons here. So as the pricing changes, or as you change different egg cartons, whatever it may be, You can choose from a list here that you customize, and it'll automatically calculate the pricing based on how many dozen eggs you have. Over to the right here, you can log any notes and then where your chickens are. So if you move them to different locations, you can log that right here. If you gave them food scraps or access to compost, you would just simply log that information in as well. This system will take all that information, which, like I said, only takes seconds a day to enter, and by doing so, we will be giving a wealth of information that we will be able to use and analyze our flock. There's still a lot more of information to show you here, so let's take a deeper look at it all and see how to set these sheets up and get you started with managing your own layer flock. So I'll see you in the next video.